What's up, everybody? It's your girl Q1, and I am back with the Real Housewives of Potomac, Season 9, Episode 20, Reunion Part 3. It was actually pretty good, y'all. This season, I guess I can wrap up my thoughts of this season and the reunion after I'm done. Anyway, so y'all remember last week, Wendy was like, she got the text from Eddie about what we assume what TJ said about Stacy. And so the reunion starts, everybody's sitting down, with Andy. And Andy, is it? Oh, I think they were waiting for Mia to come back out. I'm not really sure what was happening. But Andy asked Stacy why didn't she want TJ to come. She said because they're not together. So Wendy tells Stacy, TJ told Eddie that Stacy paid him to be her boyfriend. And she told him not to come, and also that she owed him money. And I was like, oh, but that's what the people around here and there have been saying. I'm like, okay, okay. Um, it was like, I don't know, everybody's shock of it. It was just funny. Like, and so when I tell y'all Stacy was pissed, y'all, you can, Stacy was pissed off. Okay. So Stacy says, I don't believe TJ said that. But you gotta know he said, like, even if you don't believe he said that, do you even know him? Like, he just give me, I'm childish, and so I'm gonna lie on you because I can't get my way. And this is all based on what we have saw over the seasons. Like, TJ is not, I don't know. So Wendy, no, I'm sorry, not Wendy. Mia is very distraught. Okay, so that's why I'm sorry, y'all, that's why they didn't wait on Mia, because she got mad last week and she left and she was like, I'm out of here. But they thought she was coming back. But she's so distraught. She got on her shades. She took everything off and she was crying. She was like, sis was out of there. I was like, oh, oh, okay, all right. So, Stacy still wants to see the tape. And Andy was like, okay, we need to bring Eddie out. So everybody was like, bring Eddie out, bring Eddie out. So Eddie tells, Eddie, look, first of all, let me just say this. Eddie looked good, all right. And he was sitting there looking real confused, like it was the way production had it, making him look real confused, like, why am I here? So, y'all, Eddie tells Andy that TJ wasn't invited, that he will never be in DC again. Like, we don't want you in DC. I don't live in DC, but sir, I'm just glad you ain't gonna be on the show no more. And he said that Stacy paid him to be on the show. And so, no, Stacy paid TJ to be with him. I am guessing that she paid him to be on the show as well. I don't know. So Jacqueline pipes up and said that's not very Christian like. Exactly. But you're supposed to be this sought out, devout Christian, as Stacy kept saying throughout the entire season. And you just a nigga. Okay? A flamboyant nigga. Alright? So, so now that we're talking about the word flamboyant, Eddie says that basically TJ is probably tired of everybody thinking that he is flamboyant. What you put out, you can't tell us what we see. You know what I mean? Like this is our perception of you based on what you've given. So it is what it is. So Stacy says she doesn't owe TJ any money. She said basically TJ is hurt, and um TJ wants to um TJ is mad because they're not together anymore. I think at this point Stacy is in true denial, and and to me, I felt like, well, TJ did say that, and um TJ did say, she did say that she didn't invite TJ, um and she then decides to say she wanted TJ to say it. It is just getting confusing. She wanted TJ to say it to her face, and I'm like, girl, do you really? So Wendy said, call him, and Stacey was like, I don't want to call him, and that's what makes it look like you're lying. Because you don't want to clear it up, and I think the bottom line, that's what everybody is saying. This is why everybody don't believe her. So if she would have picked up the phone, at least made an attempt to call him, although we know TJ wouldn't have never answered the phone because it was Stacey calling unless he got her blocked. At least it would have been like, okay, well, we can take your side, rather than take his side. So again, Stacey is pissed, and Giselle tells Stacey nobody believes you. Andy tells her, Andy asked her to call TJ, and she was like, no. And I just kind of felt like in that moment, Stacey was protecting TJ. Why? Why? Because apparently you are he's your best friend, but you're not his best friend. And that's what it sounds like. This sounds like a one-sided friendship, relationship, whatever it is y'all have. It's one-sided. That's all I'm saying. It's one-sided. So Andy tells the ladies that he gets a call from production in the back in his ear. And Andy tells the ladies that Mia has left the building. She's not coming back. But Andy tells them that we have that beautiful beam footage of what TJ said to Eddie. And so Andy pulls out the phone, and everybody was like, let me see. He was like, no, he let Stacey watch it. And so TJ said what he said. And her sitting there talking about she want to hear it again. Ma'am, you heard him full, well, and clear. Because everybody on the other side heard him. You heard what he said. And he also said that she was whack. Which, everything he said about her, I feel like he was wrong. Thus, to me, making him even whacker. Which is why you shouldn't even mess with him. I told y'all, like, from day one, I never saw it for TJ. Never. Ever. Like, just never. Just never. So, at this point, to me, Stacey looks really crazy. And she said that it's hurtful and she can't imagine him saying that. But you just heard him say that. So how is it that you can't imagine something that you actually heard verbatim out of his mouth? There is proof. Production has everything. So Ashley, kind of whispers over to Giselle and says, I wonder if she paid him Apple, Cash, or Zelle. I was like, girl. And that's another thing everybody kept telling her. If it's not true, if it's true, if you are lying, if you are trying to protect him, if you are saying that it's not true and you're lying about it, he's going to put out receipts. He just give me that type of person. Like, I'm going to throw her under the bus. I don't really see it for her. Yada, yada, yada. Because he's butthurt for whatever reason. But apparently he wanted his money. And for somebody, to me, for somebody who had to evacuate due to the fire in Mississippi. The fire that was in California, because he did say that as well. For somebody who had to evacuate because of it, you got bigger fish to fry rather than sitting over here talking about this one. You got bigger fish to fry. Like, you really need to worry about what's going on in your own personal life. But that's just me, y'all. That is just me. So, again, nobody believes her. Andy asked again, do you want to call him up? And she said she will call him with her attorney. Girl, and I'm gonna tell y'all, she lied, because on Watch What Happens Live, she said she did call him. Now, I didn't hear what was the response, what was the conversation. I think I checked out at that point. I checked out. Because Simone, I ain't gonna lie, y'all, Simone was pissing me off. And speaking of Simone, y'all gonna get Married to Medicine after I finish this review. So anyway, we get to Karen's montage. Everybody said that they have seen Karen drunk. I'm sorry, they say that they did. Everybody have always seen a drunk side of Karen. Everyone also says that Karen had been deflecting all season, which we already knew that, because Karen has been the deflector since season 1. Jacqueline says that Mia threw her under the bus. Jacqueline said it bothered her that Karen came for her the hardest. And so Giselle says, in Karen's defense, she didn't want whatever could have been said on TV that could affect the case. So that's probably why she was deflecting. But Jacqueline never said anything about her DUI. It came later. She initially talked about how Karen called her, she seemed like she was a little lit. That's all. And Karen came for her neck. I mean, while it was entertaining, she still came for the lady neck. So Kay says everything in regards to Karen is really, really sad. And, nobody understands why Karen would go through the trial. Apparently, Karen didn't want to take the house arrest or the smaller jail time, which is probably why she took it to trial. But now you have taken it to trial. There has been a video that has been exposed on you. And instead of you getting that small time, I would have took a 60-day house arrest and would have had the cameras there at my house. You have to spend a whole year in jail. That is insane. But, you never know. That's why she kept saying, I will be vindicated, because she was banking on this trial to go in her favor. And obviously it didn't. So I don't know. So they show never before seen footage with Karen and Ray before she heads off to rehab. And they have her sitting in a bed. This is probably after she has made that video thanking everybody, telling them what she's getting ready to do, because I recognize that white dress she had on. So she was sitting in the bed reading the Bible. I was like, y'all, please spare me, okay? And she was saying that she didn't recognize herself. And she says she tells Ray that she's been self-medicating. But I personally think Ray already knew that. She said she started self-medicating after her mom after her mom passed. So you're telling me you are just now telling your husband that you have started antidepressants. Child, because by Ray's reaction, he already knew that. So she said she started drinking champagne. She said she had some beer, but then she didn't like it. And then she was drinking champagne and her dosage of the antidepressants upped. So that's why she was a bit wonky. And I do know, like, antidepressants, I've never taken any, but I've heard that it made people feel away. And sometimes extremely quiet, like extremely mellow, I guess in monotone or whatever, but very mellow. So I don't know. So I just felt like in this moment, her and Ray was all of a sudden like, because how do you okay, Karen, I felt like this was a bit of damage control. All of a sudden she want to hold herself accountable after all the lying, after all the deflecting she had been doing all season long, from episode 1 up until the finale episode. Karen just was like, I will be vindicated, I this and I would never do this, and you did. And when that footage came out, we saw you, and your behavior was very poor, and you were very drunk, and you were very mouthy. You were acting as an elitist. You were brash. You were a bit of an asshole. And I feel I for whatever reason why Karen feels like she have to drink. I don't know if it's the pressures of the show or whatnot, but it just, I mean, I'm gonna say this, and y'all know I don't go back to season. I'm not doing no season 5 argument. However, the fact that you went to production on one of your coworkers, even though she was assaulted by somebody else, you went to go get her fired, but you do all of this. And sometimes, let me tell y'all, karma comes and circle back like a hoe. Okay, that's all. Sorry about my language, but karma definitely circles back like a hoe. And speaking of karma circling back again, don't forget to watch my Married to Medicine review. I'll put it up after this. Anyway, so she reiterates to Ray how, she doesn't want to be deemed the grand dame anymore, but she wants to be called Karen now. So after 9 or 10 seasons, you decide that you definitely don't want to be the grand dame after crying and always, throwing that in people's face. I am the grand dame. That's your label. That's who you are. This is how people know you. So what you're telling me is the grand dame is the drunk one, and Karen is always the sober one. Okay, Karen girl. So Giselle says that wasn't accountability, and I totally agree. This was you and Ray doing damage control for the show. This was you doing damage control so you can put it out on camera and try to hold yourself responsible. But you tried to in the courtroom, because according to that NBC report, you told them that you were remorseful and that you were sorry and you wish you had not done that. But Karen, you did it. So now you just have to reap what you sow. I'm sorry that's happening, but you brought that on yourself. So Ashley tells us that she met a man on a train who said that he knew Karen. He recognized her. She said she was telling him who she was. And so he was like, I know her, and Googled her or whatever, and saying that she used to come in her, in the place where she worked and would sit at the bar and drink. So you conveniently met a man who was on a train on your way to the reunion, who just happened to conveniently remember Karen years ago from a place he used to work, and said that she used to come in and drink, just conveniently. It makes me feel like Ashley pulled that out of her ass, for whatever reason. I don't believe it. I want to believe it. It's a part of me that feels like, okay, I can kind of believe that. But you just so conveniently happen to sit next to somebody on the train. Like, all of this just conveniently happened. Out of all the people in the world, you sat next to the one person who knew Karen, who recognized Karen, and all of the things. So anyway, we end this season with Kay is still shopping for rings, but why are you shopping for rings? Why isn't your man shopping for rings? Okay. Ashley hopefully will be divorced child, we wouldn't know if y'all don't bring her back next season. Kay can be reduced to a friend of. We are really surprised by this Wendy and Giselle relationship. Of course, production had to step in and had to give Giselle her talking, and Wendy just went along with it. Um, Stacy lost her best friend, and I was like, girl, you still calling him your best friend after he showed you who he was? He showed you his ass. He actually handed you his ass to kiss the entire season. You can cut that loss, and if you're going to come back, we would love to see AJ, your real best friend, the one who was on Watch What Happens Live and on a cameo with you, eating lunch with you. We kind of see it for him. And they still tearing a hole in Mia's. Okay, so just my little thoughts about this season. The season has been very, very lighthearted. Um, it was hard to see a newer version of Giselle, but I welcomed it. I sure hope that Robin doesn't return because I feel like Robin is her Achilles heel. And I hope I'm saying that right, y'all. But Robin, yeah, no. Robin and Giselle, no. Mm-mm. Not at all. Kay, again, can be a friend of. Mia can go and she can take Jacqueline with her. Ashley, this can be her last season. We can bring Stacey back because we like Stacey. And even if y'all bring Jassy back, we need a lot more of her. We knew she was a side chick. We know that now. It is what it is. So we can still keep her as a friend of. So I was glad that the darkness has almost left. But something tells me that they're going to keep Miss Darby around. I feel it in my spirit. But it was lighthearted. Karen has started her sentencing. No, I want to say, yeah, they say that she started her sentencing. She got one. Of course, we all know that she was sentenced to 2 years, but she's only going to do two. I mean, I'm sorry, she's only going to do one in jail, and she may be released off good behavior, which I hope, after 6 months, they'll see and just let her go. And I'm sure they'll let her come back, and that because that's a storyline. That's something we all want to know. We all want to know her experience, what happened in jail. They did it for Teresa Giudice, so I'm sure they will make allowances for the Grand Dame. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, y'all, I ain't really got nothing else. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Oh, and on y'all way out, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And please, y'all, please like up my videos so I can stay in the algorithm of things. I would like y'all to like up the video and on y'all way out. And I always hope y'all enjoy my content. And I will see y'all in the next video. Bye.